I wonder what we'll find out there this time.
Most likely Zoogles, I would reckon.
I mean, other than them.
Maha... Agsar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
What is this?
On
Lightning
your knees.
condemned! Sealed!
Resonate with the earth!
It's go time!
Lightning condemned! In here, if they rush you, you gotta jump for cover, okay? Holy Lance! One more!
Their arts were interrupted.
Lightning condemned!
I'll stop its charge.
Lightning, thanks, Kisara!
Going in.
On your knees.
Sealed! One more! This'll come in handy.
By the power of water.
So that's how a lord fights.
I don't perform as well when I'm observed.
Air
I'm going to
Blast!
pretend I didn't
Make
hear
it
you
rain.
say that.
Shion! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
Certainly not bad.
No complaints here.
A fish. You saw it too, right?
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Talka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
Hey, what do you think about that spot?
Good idea. I'll go for that one. All right. That was disappointing.
You're still not done fishing yet? Boring.
You need patience to fish. Not my lucky day, I guess. There we go. Well, it's not bad, per se.
Maybe you could keep it as a pet.
You're still not done fishing yet? Boring.
You need patience to fish. Reel it in. I'll get you next time. And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Hey. Is it just me? Or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey, though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh rending cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff, either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me, but my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait until the last second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue.
Hoo hoo hoo. Hoo! Maybe something's going on in the forest.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
I've got a really bad feeling about this. You got company.
No further!
Blah, 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 magic.
Going in.
Here. I'm not so good with airborne targets.
And just like that, I'm back in.
Start by holding the front line.
No sooner said
Can
than
you
done.
take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare Demolisher! Crescent
Lightning
Dark.
Tiger Blade!
In here.
On your knees.
I'll be saving this one.
This one's
Seal.
mine.
Air pressure!
Blah, blah, blah,
Going in.
magic.
One
Debris
more.
is
On
in here.
your knees.
Ha!
Air
Take
pressure!
that. We managed to turn the tide.
For now, but things could shift at a moment's notice.
You're right. Better stay alert. Here's the evil. Freeze laser. One more.
Begin! Tornado drive!
This one's mine!
Here's the
Glacial Spear!
Target
Blade!
Dance in the wind. Air thruster. Dance in the wind. Air thrust.
Do it!
Outfit!
In an instant!
Impact Cross!
I wonder if we can make new weapons with this.
All right. Nowhere to run from my arts.
When he slows down, that's our chance!
Leave the agile ones to me.
Dance in the wind.
Bend into everlasting dark. It's time.
Let's get you all tucked away. It's over.
Prepare to be sealed, though fleet of foot. Actually, perhaps found is more appropriate.
No talking, more doing.
Look sharp!
Sealed.
I'll face you.
Get on in there with the
To
others.
take this. Can't get out of this.
Dance in the wind.
Piercing
Reload
ball.
here.
Resonate with the earth.
Time to shine!
You require a hand.
Crossblade.
Resonate with the earth.
This one's
Stalagmite.
mine!
Spear. Pierce evil.
Tiger Blade!
Lightning condemned. Freeze laser.
Can't get out of this.
Thunderblade.
On guard!
Resonate with the earth.
Stalagmite.
Take this.
Thunderblade. Annihilation.
Can't get out of this.
Glacial Fire! Tiger Blade!
Resonate. Do you require a hand?
Here's another. Dance in the wind.
Glacial Spear!
Everlasting
evil.
darkness.
I'll be
Negative
saving
gate.
Freeze Lancer.
Can't get out of this.
In here. I'll be saving
This
this
one's
one.
mine.
Here.
Negative
All
gate.
right. It's showtime.
Elusive
It's
deity.
over.
Can you take
Dance
it?
in the wind.
The earth
Awake now.
throbbs.
Try to come over? Here,
I'll be
lightning
saving
help!
this one.
By the
Elusive
power of
deity.
Raging cascade.
Tornado drive.
Annihilation.
Back
Now
to
for some
everlasting darkness. Negative gate.
Flaming Meteor!
Radiant.
It's time.
Let's get you all tucked
Begin.
away.
Elusive deity.
That's it.
In a bind.
Tiger Blade!
Let's get you all tucked away.
Everlasting darkness. Negative gate. Elusive shattering of pieces.
Tiger Blade!
Thunderblade.
No further.
Gemini Offrite. Move.
Can you take it?
Tiger Blade!
Back
Here
into
comes.
everlasting darkness.
Bullseye.
Negative
Lightning
gate.
evil. Thunderblade.
Tiger
I'm ready.
Blade!
Ha.
Who wants to die?
Have
Dance
it.
in the wind.
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! By the power of water!
Here goes.
Magna Ray!
Elusive
Back
deity.
into the fray!
Ha. Does it hurt? Kisara. All yours, Kisara.
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Dan in history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. That treasure. What a sweet-sounding ring it has.
You really think so? This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Lords don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Little help! Hear me, flame of fury!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Pierce evil! Flame Lancer! It's a duel of the arts! I will heal you all! Divine Savior! Healing Circle!
We've got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
All right.
Seal!
Tiger Blade!
Leave the enemy's arts to me!
Where are you going?
No complaints here!
This one's mine. That's it!
I'll heal you all!
Tiger Blade!
Lightning condemned! In here!
I couldn't make it in time.
More for the stockpile!
Your helping me has become a pattern.
It's for the good of all of us.
Is it now?
Lightning! Magic!
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Here goes! Here goes! One last one! Circle. Thank you. Razor Cyclone!
This one's mine.
Flawless Flight!
Benediction light.
This one's mine.
Not in your dreams!
Leave the torch to me.
Dance in the wind!
This isn't ideal.
In here!
Everlasting dark.
You get the gist!
Negative gate.
In here!
Resonate with the earth.
Get on in there with the others!
Healing
Cyclone!
Back into the fray. It's time to finish this. Die! Consuming wildfire.
Elusive deity.
I've got it!
Healing circle. Thanks, Xion.
I'll face you. Elusive
Tunnel!
deity.
Look sharp. Piercing.
Raging Cascade!
Tempest.
This one's mine. I don't have much
Raging
left.
Cascade!
I can only rely.
I'm all stuck up! Chance!
I've risen!
Begin!
Sweet dream!
One's mine!
Your power is a spectacle to behold.
No further!
I'm not trying to be dramatic with it.
Tiger
Still,
Blade!
it's a part of you.
Shield!
Embrace it.
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
I can feel my precision improving.
Get lost!
Beckoned into everlasting darkness.
Going in!
Negative glacial
Razor
Here!
Tiger Blade!
Stalagmite!
You want me? Come get me!
Airborne
Going in.
beast.
My special. Going in.
Huddle!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Elusive deity!
Feel.
Tornado drive!
Here I come,
Glacial
Andy.
Fire!
Magic is in!
Tiger Blade!
I'm all stuck up.
Elusive deity! I'll face you!
Annihilation!
Elusive
Raging
deity.
Hurricane.
I never miss!
Tornado
If it's in the
drive!
doing!
Sleep
Beckon.
now.
Goodwill! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around.
Certainly not.
Glacial
Elusive
Spear!
deity!
Here's the evil! This one's mine!
Freeze Lancer!
Tornado
Dance in the
drive.
wind. Spear thrust!
Take this! I'll face you!
Make it rain!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Lightning!
Going in.
Bullseye!
The
Lightning
everlasting
condemns!
darkness!
Thunder
Negative
Blade.
gate!
Switch to all
Elusive
the
deity!
Burning strike!
Glacial Spear!
Can you
Here's
take
the
it?
evil!
Lightning condemns!
Elusive deity!
Lancer.
Begin!
Crescent Moon! Do it!
Law! Take! Blow them away!
I think I'm getting stronger. It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not...
Let's see what you've
Lightning
got.
condemns! Sealed!
Stalagmite.
Don't mind if I do- Art sealed! Annihilation!
On your
They're
knees.
surrounding us! Flame of fury! One more time!
Glacial Spear!
Here's the evil!
one's
Lightning
mine.
condemns! Freeze Lancer! Thunder Blade! Hit! Lightning condemns!
The enemy
In
wields
here!
arts too.
Here I go!
We'll soon see about that!
This one's mine!
Lightning condemns! Lightning condemns!
By the power of
Sleep
water!
now!
A new melody.
Get you all tucked away! Illusion! Magic is in here!
By the power of...
Divine Savior!
Heal.
Lightning condemns! Not on my watch! Lightning condemns! Flame of fury!
Resonate
Now
with
it's
the
strike!
Glacial Spear!
Here's
Take
evil!
this.
Make it rain!
Dohalim!
Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis! You don't mess around!
Resonate with
This
the
one's
earth.
mine!
Certainly not.
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! There! How's this?
Lightning
Going
condemns!
in!
In
On
here!
your knees.
Tiger Blade!
Magic Azam! In here!
Primed and ready! This one's mine!
Blah blah blah!
Stalagmite.
Divine
Blade.
Savior! Not on my watch!
Looking good out there!
Just getting started!
That's the spirit.
Lightning
Take no
condemns.
prisoners.
So those are
One
Dan
more
and Astral
time.
Arts.
Resonate with
Something
the
you...
earth.
I can't hold on.
Stalagmite.
Glacial fire! Good to know my training's paying off.
And what, pray tell, does this training of yours entail?
Why? Interested in joining me?
Coming through.
Lightning condemns! Sleep now! Field!
Elusive deity.
Searing flare!
Radiant
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf! Here! Magic Azam! Divine
Get behind
Savior!
me.
Where are you going?
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah, and the bubbling to me!
Lightning into the shadows!
Going in!
In here!
I've taken too many hits!
Holy Lance!
Resonate with the earth! Forgive me.
Dance in the
This
wind!
is my fault.
Air thrust! Dance in the wind! I can't feel anything.
No further.
This one's all mine! You picked the wrong fight!
Magna Ray! Into the shadows! Magna Ray! Magna Ray! I was overconfident.
Was I in over my head? Looks like some solid equipment.
We've reached our destination.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while?
I do believe it's about time that I retire. Shall we get moving?
Did we really just spend that much money?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.